armed men in military uniform accused of terrorizing residents in Banda in the Bunu region. An opposition NDC says National Peace Council cannot justify its silence over acts of violence allegedly perpetrated by supporters of the governing NPP.
Does not mean that when you see that someone is doing wrong, you will not call him to order. That is also part of mediation, because the end of mediation is peace and justice.
And coming up in business, VW hints of massive job opportunities and sourcing of local imports for assembled vehicles in Ghana. We have details in 15 minutes.
Also in this package, engineers for the Pokwasi interchange say they may not be able to complete the entire project by the October deadline. Thanks for your company. The details now. The Defense Ministry says it is investigating alleged impersonation in the case of armed men in military uniform accused of terrorizing residents in Banda in the Bunu region. The Banda constituency has been a hotbed of controversy, with the opposition NDC accusing the government of deploying the military to intimidate prospective voters in the ongoing registration exercise. The Banda Traditional Authority has also complained about the armed men in military uniform. While speaking on PM Express Monday night, Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul dismissed the allegations, insisting the accused gun-wielding men are not members of the armed forces.
Some people have dressed in military fatigue and they are not military men and they are intimidating people. We are investigating that aspect. It's totally different. It's not. They are not referring to the military men. They are claiming, there's a claim that there are people who they claim are in military fatigue and they are not military men are doing that. I spoke to the MP and he gave me that thing. But we're investigating that aspect. And like I told you.
So there are individuals, but they are armed as well. I mean,
no,
from what the traditional
I'm saying I don't know.
But this is the traditional authority saying that the people are also armed with offensive weapons.
We are not getting what I'm saying. I'm saying that these are allegations. We are investigating that particular aspect.
You heard the Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul speaking to Evans Ment on PM Express Monday night. Let's stay on the ongoing voter registration exercise. The opposition NDC says the National Peace Council cannot justify its silence over alleged acts of brutalities and violence perpetrated by supporters of the governing NPP. This comment comes on the back of a comment by the board member of the Peace Council, Nana Dr. SKB Asante, suggesting the council has no mandate in reprimanding political parties engaged in acts of violence.
We are talking, when people accuse us of bias, it is their subjective view that we have not been even-handed with political parties. Now, I'm saying that our role is not issued denunciations from time to time. It's a misreading of our central role, which is really mediation, and therefore we are to resolve through mediation and so forth conflicts, so that those things undermine our responsibility.
Well, the Director of Communications for the NDC, Kakrai Samoa, disagrees. Listen.
The first was a loan agreement.
Well, apologies for that. We'll bring you that sound later. Let's move away from election-related matters. Now, government has laid two separate loan agreements before Parliament for the approval to purchase armored vehicles from Israel. The Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation, Dr. Anthony Okotose, laid this on Monday on behalf of the Finance Minister. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has more.
The first was a loan agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance and the Israel Discount Bank, for an amount of $74.1 million to finance the supply of the armored vehicles. Also laid before the House is a separate commercial loan agreement from the same bank for an amount of $12 million for the supply of the armored vehicles. Both loan agreements were referred to the Finance Committee by the Speaker for consideration and report. Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul separately laid before Parliament for approval a contract agreement with Elbit Systems Land Limited of Israel for the supply of the armored vehicles at a cost of $80 million. The agreement was referred to the Defense and Interior Committee for consideration and report. The rest of the $6 million is expected to go into related expenses that will be incurred in the processes to secure the loan.
Joseph Opoku-Gakpo with that report. Now, as the Ghana Cocoa Board hints of introducing electronic weighing scales, some produce clerks have been sharing strategies they employ in tampering with the scales. Now, this is part of excerpts of our latest Hotline documentary, Missing Kilos, which explores how officials of state and private licensed buying companies adjust weighing scales to steal cocoa from farmers. John News' investigative journalist Kwetinate reports that the clerks tamper with the strings fixed at the back of the weighing scales. Here are excerpts of the documentary.
It's true, government says clerks should weigh the cocoa at 64 kilograms, but it is done at 67. I urge the government to check the managers. They are exploiting the people. I have no other choice than to weigh the bags brought to the sheds at 70 kilos.
Na scale no kwan ben so na ya mofa so adjusting
scale ni watch di ni bi enti omaya spring ho enti omode tie spring emimim.
The adjustment is done by tampering with the springs behind the scale, and this steals 5 kilos from the cocoa.
2 abum no 1 mimim 3 abum no 1 mimim 7 ya say 5 kilos ba be sheep.
You heard excerpts of Joy News' Hotline documentary, Missing Kilos. It will air on the Joy News channel on Multi-TV and DSTV channel 421 at 6:30 p.m. later tonight. Government says the local manufacturing industry has received a huge boost despite the grave impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy. Speaking at the ceremony to unveil the first set of locally assembled Volkswagen vehicles in Accra yesterday, President Akufo-Addo said the pandemic and its attendant restrictions forced the local manufacturing sector to produce majority of the local needs. He maintained government will continue to give the needed support to local manufacturing companies.
One of the key objectives set by government in response was to use the challenge of the pandemic as an opportunity to inspire the expansion of our domestic capability. Our hitherto dormant domestic garment factories have over the past few months been revived and have been able to produce 15 million face masks and other personal protective equipment for all those involved in the partial reopening school.
You heard the President Akufo-Addo. Engineers for the Pokwase interchange say they may not be able to complete the entire project by the October deadline. Government cut short for the commencement of the Pokwase interchange, which was expected to be completed in April 2020. The project was, however, postponed after it was expanded to 40 years. The construction of the Pokwase and adjoining town roads was to improve the lives of people in adjoining communities and help divert traffic. However, resident engineer Mr. Bimpong attributes this delay to what he says are technical problems associated with the coronavirus pandemic.
A groundbreaking ceremony at Pokwase to begin the construction of the Pokwase interchange at ACP Junction in the Ghana West municipality of the Greater Accra region. The interchange, according to Senior Minister Yawo Safo-Mafo, who represented the president, was to ease traffic and improve urban mobility of residents within the project zone.
We are about to perhaps cut the sword of one of the most important interchanges in this country.
In December 2019, President Akufo-Addo visited the site where engineers assured him work will be completed in October 2020.
Our construction work. So what we have here are the piers, and that's what you can see, in your view here. When this is completed, when you're on the Accra-Kumasi Road, this is what you see. You have the second tier, the third tier, and then the fourth tier.
With barely 2 months to the deadline, the news team decided to take a tour the project site. Safety helmets on, reflectors, and hand gloves, all in line with standard safety procedures at the site. Steadily, we climbed the stairs till we reached 22 meters above the ground. Actually standing on the tier 4 of this project, which is supposed to connect Awoshi to Kwabenya. Resident engineer Kwabena Bimpong said the project has faced several setbacks, including the coronavirus pandemic.
Structures on the road, hawkers, and all these people was a major challenge. Now, the diversion